Hello. This week I'm starting the long process of starting to put together some armies for some of my Normandy and D-Day battles. And the one that I'm going to start with is a Fallschirmjäger army. Now, I did build some Fallschirmjägers before, but it was a long while ago. But it was only a small army of them, well, 2 squads. But they were for a winter campaign. So really this is, like a new start for me to do it like this. Obviously the uniforms you can see on the box is the uniforms I'm going to be looking to do as well when I get to that stage. But obviously first of all I've got to build it up. I have got other German armies, as you know, that will be suitable for Normandy. But I needed some Fallschirmjägers as well. So what I've bought is I've got this box of 30, which I'll open up in a minute. I've got a support group, and that includes mortar, forward observation, a couple of officers and a medic, and a MMG by the looks of it. And because I thought I'd need some extra men, I bought an extra sprue of the Fallschirmjäger, and then the additional item of another MMG team. And that's pretty much it, unless I decide to add to it later. But hopefully this will be fine, because I'll probably use this as a force to intermix with some of my others, like, the Waffen SS or Grenadiers. So let's just open up this first box. I'm sure everyone's familiar with what you're going to find in here now, but I'll open it anyway. Easier for ripping the cellophane off. So you get your little leaflet showing you what all the parts are and some uniform suggestions. That's different. Got some bits on that one with the bases. Not seen them like that before. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sprues. Yeah, 5 sprues of 6 men. And then you've got your little transfers as well. I look forward to the day when I'm reaching that stage. So that can just go with that. Right, and then I've got my support group. Let's open that one up. suppose. We'll have a more detailed look at them when I get to building these up. Actually look pretty good sculpts, they do. You know, I shouldn't sound surprised, but you do get one or two, you know, funny looking metal ones, don't you, that don't look quite right. But from what I can see, I mean, obviously I've still got them in the packet, these look pretty good. Right, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack on, snip a few of these off, start putting together a few soldiers, and I'll bring you along at various stages just to see, you know, what I'm putting together and what groups I'm going to form. Right, back soon. Right, I've built my first 2 squads of 8. I tend to build in squads of 8, but I kind of leave it open so I can always up it to 10. But I'm going to have a light machine gunner team in each one. So, bring them up. I tend to always put a rifle on my carrier for the light machine gun as well. So that's them 2 in that squad. And then in this first squad I'm going for quite a few of the automatic weapons. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the NCO's got 1 as well, and then just 1 with a submachine gun. The other one, again, I've gone for a light machine gun and a carrier carrying a rifle. Try to pose them, you know, as different as I can, really. So I do sometimes chop and change with arms. You know, I'm quite happy to chop an arm in half and to get a different pose. I just hate to see them all looking the same, so, you know, I try and do what I can to change it around a bit. A couple of kneeling ones there for that squad. Most of that squad's rifles. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the NCO on this squad is going to have the machine gun, and same with this other fella. Right, what I'm going to do now is going to take myself a tea break and then come back and crack on with a few more squads. I've been lucky because from that winter one I found a couple of sprues that I'd kept to one side, so I've been able to get some of the more popular bits off them as well, which is why I keep them. You know, whenever I build any, if I've got any leftovers, I always keep it in case I want to mix it in with others, you know, and do a little bit of chopping and changing. Right, I'll bring you back in a bit. Right, I'm going to do a bit of a hack here because in the Fallschirmjäger set, there's only 1 MG42. There is another light machine gun, but that's the MG24. But the MG42 that I want to use this time is only there as a, you know, shoulder swung weapon, and I want it to be a firing weapon. I want it to be in a position where he's actually holding it. So as best I can, I'm going to hack it from a few different parts. Obviously what I've done, you know, there's the shoulder slung weapon. I've obviously grabbed another one of them and I've cut cut it off from the arm, and that's just given me the gun. So I've got that. The second bit that I've cut is this, which is basically the right arm holding a machine gun. So I've cut the machine gun off that, and all I'm going to take from that is the hand, so we'll cut that off in a minute. Now I need an arm that's going to stretch to where the trigger is, so I've gone with this one carrying the case. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut the hand and the case off. I'm going to cut the hand off this machine gun and glue that onto that, and then bring that up to the weapon. And then I've got this hand that's free, a left hand. And what I'm going to do on that one is I'm going to cut the hand off, turn it like 90 degrees, and use it with some of the, you know, the bandolier around the neck. I'm going to use a bit of that to put into the gun if I can, and then prop the weapon on perhaps a bit of tree, you know, a bit of twig that I've got. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. I'm not quite sure how well some of this is going to show up, but I will bring it up to you at various points and let you have a bit of a look. So first things first, I'm going to cut the hand off this with the case. So now I've got the arm that I need. Does that need any filing? Yeah, it does. Just get enough any of this flash that's on there as well. Right, let's put that arm in position first. I think that's about how I want it. Oddly enough, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the head on, because that is going to give me the idea of how I want to position the machine gun. Normally I'd do that last, but I think in this occasion it's going to help me line it all up. So let's just check, will that reach to there? Yeah, it's going to reach, isn't it? Might have to just trim a little bit off that to pull it back. Yeah, forgive me if some of this is off camera, it's a bit tricky. Perfect. Right. Sorry about all the noise. My next door neighbour is converting his attic so you'll have to bear with me, I'm afraid. Right, let's just take that hand off now. And then we'll glue the hand onto there. I know this might seem a bit of a faff, but I really do like to have, you know, some unique poses if I can. I don't do it with everyone, obviously, but just with some of them. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut the handle near the trigger off, because obviously that's inside his closed fist. Put a bit on the top there and a bit down the back. Alright, so it's looking like that at the moment. I'm going to let that just dry a little bit more. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this bandolier that's from the neck. If I can put that onto there, I'll work out where this other hand's going to be first. So I need to cut the hand off this arm now and turn it 90 degrees. Be a second, I'll just pick that up. Sorry about that. Sod's law, isn't it? When you cut a little piece like this, it always goes flying off somewhere, don't it? Right. What I've done is cut the hand off. And now I'm just going to turn it round. Let's just file the end down a bit. Right. That's it. Now I've got to leave that for a few seconds. Let's just have a look at this while we're doing it, because we want that. tiny bit. Right. Just cutting a piece of wood, a twig. No, it wants to be smaller. Right, after some umming and ahhing, I've decided to cut a little piece of tongue depressor to the right shape for this one as a one-off. And what I'm doing now is on these spare trench, let's put it in front of the camera, trench shovels, I'm going to cut the handles off and use them as the bipod stand for the MG42. I could probably find one in some bits and bobs, but I think this will do the job anyway. So first of all, just put a little blob of my glue on there. There we go. Right, that was very fiddly, to say the least. I don't know whether you can see it. Ooh. There you go, look. So I've managed to get the bipod on there. Now it's just a matter of working on the other arm. So the next bit is putting his other arm on and then trying to get the belt into position. Now obviously we've already turned the hand round on this, so I think putting the arm on first is going to be the easiest way around it, and then see how I can make the belt fit to it. Right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the gun end first. And make sure that I've got the bullets facing the right way, haven't I? Sillier things have been done. Right. Change the angle on this and you might be able to see it a bit better. We'll put some more light on it. So that's what he's looking like. There's a bit of tidying up to do on the man himself. But makes for a totally different pose that's not come straight out the box. So I'm fairly happy with that. I mean, obviously it looks a bit raw at the minute because obviously it's not painted up and it's not got any basing material on there. So it will kind of key in with the rest of them a lot better when it's been painted, and you can't tell so much that it's so differently based. But it keeps it kind of small as well. I did think about going with a bigger base, but then, you know, you're starting to look like a three-man team type thing, and I don't want it to look like that. I want that one on his base, and then his loader is going to be on an ordinary base by the side of him. Right, so I'm just going to let that dry now. You know, it's not something I'm going to do with every figure, but just the odd one I like to try and, you know, change it up a bit, make it a bit different. But I think he'll look the part once he's been cleaned up and painted and based. Right, I'll crack on and make a few more and get a few more squads together, and then I'll bring you back. Right, so I've opened up my Fallschirmjäger support group box, and I've just been cleaning up this figure. It's got a few little bits on it. But there is something I often do to these. I mean, you might think this is a bit daft really, but I prefer the detail of the plastic heads, to be honest. But it is nice to have a different pose. And the other thing I don't like, I know it'd be easy to just stick this metal base straight onto its, you know, plastic base, but I don't really like to see that. So I don't do this on everyone, but on this one I'm going to snip this metal base off. I just basically go around his feet first. Around this side as well. Right, once I get it like that, I then carefully trim off the bottom bit off the foot, as near to the foot as I can get it. But what I don't want to do is cut into the foot. So just get as near as I can, and then, if needs be, file the rest down. Right, so there he is with his feet off his stand. Right, now this is the bit that you've got to be a bit more careful. I mean, I'm not saying you should do this. This is just what I'm going to do. I just don't like the head on this one, so I'm going to take it off. I've got a curved back on my file here as well, so this will help to make a bit of a hollow for the neck to sit in well. So what I had to do was cut a bit of a groove in the neck to get the head in. And if I bring it up, you'll see it better now. Well, as I say, it's not something I'd tell everyone to do. It's just something I wanted to do because I wanted him to look a little bit different from all the other figures. And I kind of figure he will now. And what I've also done is I've stuck on the pistol and the mat bag from the plastic one. And as you can see, his feet look fine now, glued straight to it. And, you know, once it's been based around it as well, I mean, I've done it in the past, so they've always been secure. As I say, I mean, your other option is to go ferreting round through leftovers from other kits. You know, and you can come up with different body poses to mix in. But being as I bought this for the mortar and for the MMG, I thought, well, why not? And it comes together pretty well in the end. So he can now be my first or second lieutenant for my Fallschirmjäger army. Right, I'll bring you back in a bit. I'll just plug on with the rest of the squads. Right, I brought you back because I've decided to make myself a sniper group. And I'm just starting work on the sniper himself. And what I'm going to use on this Fallschirmjäger sprue, whether you can, if I point to that, that's the rifle I'm going to use on the sprue. Let's see if I can identify the number. Let's see, which one is that? It's number 34 on the sprue. And then I'm also going to use number 17, which is the FG42 assault rifle. And basically what I'm going to be doing is, on the assault rifle, all I'm going to be doing is taking that scope off and then attaching it to the rifle. Right, so this is what it ends up looking like. Obviously I've tried to tailor the positioning of the man as well to make it work. And obviously, you know, that's what's going to pass for the sniper. I mean, he looks like a sniper, so he'll look the part for me. And if I can somehow mackle together a spotter to go with him, they'll make a good enough set as a sniper. I'll be happy with that. Right, I'll bring you back when I've put a spotter together to go with him. Right, I've completed my spotter. I had to dip outside the Fallschirmjäger sprues to find the right arm that I needed for this, which I found in a Waffen SS spare sprue. But obviously their uniforms, if you've got any, are slightly more blousy looking, a bit, you know, like padded out, not only that, they've got emblems on the arms, so I did have to do some filing down on the arm to take all those insignia out, and you know, a bit more of the blousy look to make it match. So that's the arm in question, and I think that ties in very well with it now. What I've had to do for the other arm, because I wanted the glasses as if he's pulled, you know, the binoculars, as if he's pulled them away because he spotted something and then he's pointing at it. So I took a rifle arm and cut the hand off that. And then there was an outreaching arm that went completely the wrong direction holding the binoculars. So I cut the binoculars off that and connected that to the arm. And then I'd run out of pistol holsters in the Fallschirmjäger boxes, so I borrowed one of those from a Waffen SS as well, because it's exactly the same. So that's the spotter. If I just bring back the sniper now. That's my sniper set. Alright, I'll crack on because I'm getting there now with the army. I've nearly finished. I'll bring you back when I've got it done. Right, so that's my Fallschirmjäger army complete now. And it's going to pack a punch of well over 1,000, and that's without adding anything. And I've tried to make as many different poses as I can, and worked it on 8-men squads. And here's the light machine gunner that you see me mackling from other bits. And this is my first or second lieutenant, who's part metal, part plastic. And then the sniper set again that you see me working on. I think they'll do the part quite well. These two, I've just put the Panzer Faust on them, so I can swap them in and out of the squads if I need them. And then the other metal figure I've used as perhaps a captain or a major with his men. And then obviously my MMGs. You can't really do Normandy without having MMGs, and obviously mortar squads as well. So that's all the metal soldiers finished now as well. Right, so I'm going to wind this one up. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found something useful. Might be a little while before I get round to painting and basing these, but I've got a few other jobs to do in between, but I'll no doubt bring you back when I'm basing them up or something. Anyway, as I say, I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you get a notification when my next video drops. Anyway, I'll see you again soon. Bye.